Hi, this is Mike Pardis, and I'm at home, and this is my attempt to show you how to do a butchering of a whole chicken, which if you buy it retail in a grocery store is going to cost you about 99 cents a pound, or if you buy it in a specialty market or at the farmer's market, it might cost as much as $6 or $7 a pound. But the fact is, if you buy the whole chicken and you can break it down yourself, which is actually quite easy as I'm about to demonstrate, you're going to save yourself a lot of money, you're going to get total utility, you're going to end up with a lot of different delicious parts, and you're going to end up with stock. Alright, I'm set up here with a small pot to put in fat to render out, a larger pot to put in carcasses. I've got a store-bought chicken, not a farmer's market bought chicken, store-bought chicken. I've got a French knife, which I'm going to use because most of you probably won't have a boning knife. If you do, you can use that. And then I've got a place to put my finished product. Alright, so I'm going to take the chicken, I'm going to move it from the resting plate to the cutting board. The first thing we'll do is remove the giblets from it. The giblets are in a bag, as usual. We're going to take them out of the bag and we're going to separate them. The good parts, the livers, which we can use for pate, terrine, or just sauteed chicken livers for breakfast with scrambled eggs. We've got the neck, which essentially qualifies as bone. So we're going to put that in the stock pot. And the offal. Gizzards, giblets, whatever you want to call them. These will also be good in the stock, so we'll put those there. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the wings off. Cutting through the wing at the joint. You should be able to cut cleanly through the joint if you know where it is. If you hit a lot of resistance, that means that you're hitting the bone. So you just move your knife slightly over 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, until when you cut through, you cut cleanly through. It's very easy when you find the right spot. Finding the right spot takes a little bit of practice. We'll cut off the wing tips, same action, right through a joint. So I'm hitting a little resistance there, so I'm going to move my knife and slice cleanly through. Now the tips really don't have a whole lot of use, so we'll throw that in the stock pot. The wings, well, you can gather them in your freezer and then do wings one night a week, one night a month, or you can put it in stock. That's up to you. I'm going to save them. Put them over here. Same action here. I'm going to pull the wing out, take off that at the first joint, take off the tip. Tip goes in the stock pot. Wing goes on the plate with the good stuff. The next thing to do is separate the legs from the thighs. This one was a little bit beat up from the store already, but that's okay. Really what we want to do is separate that anyway. We've got the breast on this side, we've got the thigh and the leg over here. Now they're separate muscles, of course, so you just cut gently through the skin, and as you cut through the skin you'll be able to see that the muscles are separate. At this point you pick up the chicken and you let gravity help you a little bit. And you are going to, on this side, on the back, you're going to find the joint. There's a little ball joint right there. You can feel it. That's where the thigh connects to the back, to the carcass. And you're going to put your finger on there and applying light pressure, you're going to pop that bone right out of the joint. Now, right there, I can't zoom in because both my hands are busy. Right there is the bone that we've just popped out of the socket. So we just dislocated his shoulder, if you will. Right? Once that's been done, you don't have anything between you and separating the thigh. There's no bone, nothing in the way. So again, letting gravity help you, you hold that up a little bit. Taking your knife, you're going to go cut down towards the joint that you've just separated. There's a piece of meat here that a lot of people make a big deal about. It's called the oyster. It's a little nugget of flesh that's very tasty because it gets a lot of work. And at this point, you can just then cut right along the bone, of the carcass, keeping the edge of your knife kind of angled down towards the carcass so you don't cut into the meat, but you do separate the meat from the carcass. And At that point, we've got a leg and a thigh. We'll move over to the other side of the bird and do the same thing. We'll disconnect the leg and the thigh. Right, pull that apart. Right, tear the skin. You can get your fingers in there if you want to. Again, on the other side, we've got the ball joint right there. I'm going to pop that out. Pop. You can probably hear it. You can see it much better on this one. There's that socket, been dislocated. And then now, we're going to use our knife, cut through the skin. Without cutting into the flesh of the breast or the thigh, take the tip of our knife, find the carcass, angle our knife down towards the carcass, and cut along, removing the leg and the thigh from the carcass itself. I'm going to set the legs and the thighs over here for the moment. We'll get back to them, clean them up, separate them in a couple of minutes. Okay, the next step is to separate the breasts from the carcass. This is actually pretty easy. There's a line that goes right down the center. You'll be able to see it in any chicken. There's a bone that is sort of T-shaped. It's a piece of cartilage, actually. At the beginning of the carcass, it is flat. It comes up, and it's like a sternum in a human. It separates the two lobes of the breast. It goes straight down. At the bottom of that is the wishbone. It's an angular, triangular shaped bone that goes like that. So what you're going to do is find that line. There's a line of fat right across here that you can probably see that delineates it pretty well. You're going to cut through, and you're not going to go too deep. You're going to go about, in this chicken, maybe a ½ an inch, 3/4 of an inch deep, and you're going to hit some resistance. And that's the carcass. That is the rib cage and the rest of the bird. You draw your knife back until you hit that, and then you can't go any further, deeper. You draw it back until you hit resistance at this end, and that is going to be the wishbone. So knowing that you can't cut back any further in a straight line, you angle slightly, and keeping your knife tip along the edge of that wishbone, you're going to take that down. Here's the wishbone right here. You're going to take that down until you hit the joint between the wing and the wishbone. The wishbone will lead you right down to the wing joint. It's the other side of this right here. So you're opening that up. And again, when you find a joint, all you need to do is find the notch between the two parts of the joint and cut cleanly through. That separates it, and then all you have to do is use the tip of your knife to gently tease away the meat from the rest of the carcass. And by severing the skin there, we've got a breast. Okay, put that in the pile. Go over to the other side of the bird and do the same thing. Again, going down along the sternum, cutting until we hit the carcass, then drawing straight line till we hit the wishbone. When we hit the wishbone, we're going to angle down, and when we get to the bottom of the wishbone, we're going to find that joint that connects the wing to the wishbone and just cut cleanly through it. Again, hit a little resistance there, move your knife at 1/8 of an inch or so, and you'll find the spot that cuts right through. Turn it around, and just using the edge of your knife against the carcass so you don't lose very much meat, you take the second half of the breast off. That goes on our pile there.